Python has made sounds very easy to be added in to your application. We're going to add an explosion every time Bezos's face is hit by writing in this code. So here's our Bezos explosion variable, and we're just attaching play. If you choose a different sound and want it to keep going, just add -1. Just remember this is in the loop. And at the top, we simply just add pygame mixer.init, and then we create a sounds folder. Next to our images, just right click, create new folder, right click on the base project folder, create new folder, and then add your wave sounds in there. They have to be waves not compressed, so it does slow the application down depending on what you add. You could add awk if you like. So that's it. We find inside the mixer, we find the sound object and make sure we add the path correctly. We'll add an explosion, boom thing, and just a different thing to change to listen to while programming, and then you get one keeps it running. So this is global, so this will just play, not in the loop. I'm going to change it to whatever I call my song. And some cursors, so I needed that this way. And that's it. Congratulations on coming this far. I hope you enjoyed programming with me. Let me know of any errors and how long you were stuck if you like. And I hope your programming journey continues into a wider spectrum such as machine learning. For those interested in programming, or either had no idea where to start, and maybe trying to learn within an hour, don't worry about trying to understand every line. Even if you can't run the program and it's filled with errors, welcome to programming. Debugging is half the battle. The other half is trying to find out what you can and cannot use. You may have heard of paradigms such as object-oriented or model view controller. Or thought, I want to know how these AI algorithms work. For example, why do I get recommended these videos from YouTube? And why do they keep asking me to subscribe, like and comment? Those particular algorithms are created from machine-learned supervised or labeled pattern classifications, meaning the more you search an input, the stronger the output becomes, as more of the same rules or programming methods are invoked. An input-output rule structure is for machine learning. However, we need to learn input, rules, and then output before we can write predictive classifications. Now that we know the more views, the stronger the classification percentage, we have an idea why OOP is strongly recommended when searching programming videos. However, these videos are usually for people that have already been programming and have an understanding of the transferable key concepts in the common languages. Most people are watching these videos for a particular key concept. However, the best way to learn programming fast is by reading textbooks and the parts of the documentation that are applicable to your project. The dry, unfunny, straight-to-the-point learning by reading is highly appreciated after watching drawn-out YouTube videos that can be summed up in a documented paragraph. Furthermore, if you start trying to learn from object-oriented programming videos before writing a simple application, it's like running before crawling. You can do it, but you've created a world of hurt. In my opinion, from having a degree in programming, the best language to start with is Python, and the best application is a small game. Why Python? Well, it's the most versatile. Why a game? Well, you can see what you're coding, you have visual feedback. Python is object-oriented, however it doesn't have to be, like many languages, apart from Java. Object-oriented simply means arpeggiated or broken into small parts, which is good for a team environment, and that's why employers are looking for object-oriented programmers. Python is used for everything digital: gaming, web, embedded systems, such as a system on a chip like a washing machine, and TensorFlow is the biggest machine learning or AI learning framework. How did Python become more popular than other languages, such as lower level languages, C or C++, which are closer to the hardware and therefore super optimized, or C# or Java, object-oriented class-based languages, or even surpassing contemporary languages such as Ada, Rust or R? Well, Python is highly versatile, as explained, and it can specialize, such as in machine learning. However, it does have a few more things going for it. It's open source and therefore can be built upon by good programmers. It's built from C++, so although high level close to English, it can be super optimized. An application just boils down to some text files. Images boil down to binary files, and they both boil down to numbers, which are then turned on and off. Programming languages have compilers, which is an intermediate. The biggest languages, for example C or Java, have a compiler. When we test the language, Java makes sure it can be compiled into a class and then into its virtual machine to be run on Windows, Mac or Linux. Python uses a similar technique. However, they call it interpreted, as it's interpreted into bytecode via small increments or scripts. These text files are compiled as we press enter. C++ is by far the fastest language hands down. No one in their right mind argues that. It's the quickest access in and out of memory via pointers, references, and memory deconstruction. This is why it's used for demanding audio or graphics. It cannot be compiled on the fly or interpreted, and although secure, there are easier languages for security, such as Ada. Named after the first computer programmer, her language became focused on security. JavaScript for web development is actually a monstrosity Frankenstein that we've somehow grown to love from constant amendments or iterations. Python is a good language to learn what interests you. Think of it like a Swiss Army knife. We can do multiple things and branch off into specialized applications. However, we all want to use the sharpest, most specialized knife for the job, and that's why there are so many languages or tools to use.